Have you ever found a great deal, was so excited to buy it, and then you got home or a couple weeks later you started thinking, what was I thinking? You know, guys, sometimes I tease my wife and I always tell her that we're broke because she saves us so much money. And I have a bad habit too when it comes to Lego deals or sometimes toy deals. You know what I'm talking about. You see it in a store, you're thinking, oh man, that is such a great price, I can't pass it up. And it could be something you think you're going to resell and you don't. It could be something that you can't believe how cheap it was, and you get it home and you're thinking, now I know why it was so cheap. So a couple of the things that come to mind are Chima sets. Here's one. This is I don't know what year this is from. It's a few years old. Still in the box, still sealed. Here's another one. Still in the box, still sealed. Now I got this one at dirt cheap. I think my wife may have even picked this up at dirt cheap. You see it says $12.99 right there, but it was actually probably like 80% off. So that's why I bought it. I mean, I think it was like $3. It's hard to pass that up. Here's another one. I got this one at Target. I do remember that. It's still sealed. And the only reason I bought this is because it was 400 pieces and around $12, $10, $12 after all the discounts. Now, you know, there are some good pieces in here. I could part this thing out. Problem is I only have one of them, so that's why I haven't parted it out for my store. And if you look on the back here, there are some good parts. I mean, there's some good rock pieces there. A couple good arches there. But some of this stuff, like those pieces, those Bionicle type pieces, the Chima figs, I mean, especially the Chima figs, they absolutely have no value. I mean, unless you're a die-hard Chima collector, you should never buy Chima. And that's one of the reasons that the theme is extinct. Chima is one of those things that you buy it because it's so cheap, and when you get home, you just start thinking, what was I thinking? What am I ever going to do with that Chima set? Now, if I had 4, 5, 6 of those, of course I would love to part those out. But I only have one. I mean, unless I need a piece because I'm building some mock or something, I'm probably never going to open that set. So what else? What can you guys think of? Can you think of any themes that are like, oh my goodness? You know, another good one is poly bags. I've got bags and bags of poly bags. You know, these are Target poly bags. They're usually $3.99 retail. Most people go out and buy them when they're $2 or they're $3.50, and they get them for $1.75, I guess. People run out the day after the holiday and they try to buy them all up. I do the same thing, except at my Target, there's not a lot of people who do that. So I usually wait till they hit 70% off, and if they're there, great. If not, I guess that wasn't meant to be. But so what do you do with them? Well, the problem is that you get them so cheap, you almost have to part them out. But the dolls doesn't really sell. And, you know, you throw those poly bags in your store and you're never going to get retail back from them. So I've got, I don't know, 5, 6 Target bags full of poly bags. I guess some of them I could resell. You know, I could probably get $2 for any of them, but I'm just too lazy, so they're just sitting there in my pile of shame. There are some that are really good, and there are some that have really good parts, but not all of them. You know, you get a poly bag with 70, 80 pieces in it, and you have a few desirable pieces in it. The rest of them is all commons. It's a good deal, but it's kind of one of those things that you buy up because the price is right, and then you get home and, you know, maybe you have success selling them in your bricklink store, but what are you going to do with them all outside of parting them all out, which takes time, and loading up a bunch of inventory? I mean, you tell me what's so good about them. I'm still going to buy them. It's hard to pass them up when they're that cheap. I just bought a couple today. Show you what I bought today. I just picked these up. These were $1.78 marked down. I think the original price was what, $5.99. I got 2 of those, and I got 2 of these. I think the regular price on this one was good for the polybag collection. And they had a bunch of these. They only had 2 of these, so I got them both. They had a bunch of these. They probably had 30 of these. But I held back because, you know, I like to keep one, maybe open one. You guys have any hints about getting that keychain out of there? So I held back. I resisted. You know, maybe I'll go back and they'll be 90% off. I doubt it. They'll probably end up at the dirt cheap when they get that down that low. But, you know, it's stuff like that that you buy it because it's so cheap, and then you start questioning, why did I buy it? Is it such a good deal? I mean, there's a thing called ROI, return on your investment. And if you're buying that stuff to be a reseller, if you don't sell it, there's no return. So it's kind of, why did you buy it? Here's another example. So right around Christmas time, I don't remember. I think it was after Thanksgiving maybe. Target had the Marvel Doctor Strange set as one of the ones that was included in some sale, and they were down to $15. So I ended up buying 4 or 5 of them. I kept one for myself, and I parted out the rest of them. And I was so excited, and I wanted to get them in my Bricklink store real fast so I could load up those Doctor Strange figs because with Marvel Infinity Wars coming out, I thought maybe people would be jumping on those Doctor Strange figs. The problem is by the time I got them into my Bricklink store, that set was at least a year old. So there was already, if you wanted that fig, most people had already bought that fig, or they had that set. And because Target ran the deal, people like me went out and bought them all off the shelves and parted them out and put them in their Bricklink stores. So overnight, the Bricklink store inventory probably doubled. So I haven't sold. I put mine below average, and I have yet to sell one of those Doctor Strange figs. And it's a little disappointing, but, you know, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, this goes along the lines of, when is a deal too good to be true? And, you know, if you're talking about reselling, most of the times, if it's too good to be true, you don't know that until you're sitting on it for a while. Chima deals are too good to be true because nobody wants Chima. That's why they did away with the series. That's why they did away with, I mean, the cartoon may have been good, but that's why they did away with the theme, because nobody was buying Chima because nobody liked Chima. But they did it for, what, 3 or 4 years, and they kept trying to reinvent it, and it just went away, and then the set sat on the shelves. So you guys tell me. Tell me some of your thoughts. When is a deal too good to be true? When is it not right to buy Lego? When is the right time to pass on Lego? It's really hard, really hard. In the last 6 or 7 months, I've passed on a lot of deals. Unless it's something that really grabs my eye, I'll wait till it gets below 50% off. You know, even today with Star Wars sets, if you buy them when they're brand new, you can instantly turn the figs and almost get your money back. If not, make more than you paid for the set. But if that set's out there for 6, 7 months, even if you get it at half off, those figs don't sell nearly as fast. I also uploaded some battle packs. I bought a bunch of battle packs, got them real cheap. I think I had 5 of the same kind, so I put them in the store. So I've got all these stormtroopers in my store. I mean, it's a great battle pack, great figs, good stormtroopers. And I've only sold a couple of them because it's kind of run its course. You know, that army building, not that people still don't do it, but the stormtroopers I have in my store, I guess the people have bought them all up that want them, so they're just sitting in my store. So that's the one thing about Bricklink, about the deal too good to be true. It's when it's past its, if you're thinking about reselling it, it's when it's past its prime, so to speak. Just like baseball cards. You know, I was a collector, I guess in the late 80s, early 90s. I kind of got away from baseball cards. So what happens is these things become overabundant. It's kind of what eBay is one of the problems. Believe it or not, eBay, as good as it is for the hobby, it also destroys the aftermarket a little bit. And the reason is because all of a sudden there's so much out there. When I was, I guess, a senior in high school, or maybe, I guess it was Shaq's rookie year, and I collected baseball cards and basketball cards at the time, and there was an insert for the Shaq card. You got the Shaq insert, you had to mail off for it because he wasn't signed yet. So they did it kind of before the NBA draft, or right after the NBA draft, before he was an actual NBA player. So they couldn't release the card till after he signed his contract, when he was not a collegiate athlete anymore. So you had to mail away for this card. So that card sold for, I think I sold it for a couple $100. You know, it was a really big deal. But then within 6 or 7 months, that card, the value of that card dropped like a rock, because 6 or 7 months later, you know, eBay was just beginning to come out, but all the collectors realized how many of them there were out there. And so it's kind of supply and demand. Another good example, CMFs. This cop, for example. This guy right now is going on eBay anywhere from $20 to $30. He's hot, he's fresh, he's new, everybody wants him. A lot of people are struggling to find them. So there are collectors who are going on eBay because they can't find one. So they're going on eBay and they're paying anywhere from $20 to $30 right now. 6 months, a year from now, that fig is probably going to sell for $15, maybe $20. It'll probably top out at $20, and you'll probably be able to find them from around $15. And the reason is because everybody who's going to pay that high price for them has already paid that price, and there's so many available because of the aftermarket, because of eBay and Bricklink. Where am I going with this? If it's too good to be true, of course it probably is. So if you're thinking about reselling it, do a little homework. You know, when you're in the stores, pull out your phone, go to eBay, go to Bricklink, see what it's going for. There is a lot of examples that you will never get your money back unless you break it down and part it out. And parting it out takes a long time to get your money back. So when is a deal too good to be true? You give me some examples. I want to hear. Give me some things that you bought that you just knew you couldn't believe you got it at these prices. And now it's either sitting at your house unopened because you have, you know, these plans of reselling it and you can't get what you want out of it. You know, it could be a modular. You found it at a great price. Maybe something like that you've got sitting at home that you're doing nothing with. Could be something that you bought that you thought you got to get great price, and then a month later it was below what you paid for it. Be sure to check out Bricktsar. He will give you much better detail and better examples than I've given you. Follow along with us. We try to put this out every Sunday, kind of a little back and forth. If you got any topics for us, leave us below. We'll talk about them. So thanks for subscribing. Really appreciate all the support. And until the next time, we'll see you again.